Most well-known offenders are adults, since a lot of cop body cam footage showcases attacks against the police committed by adult individuals, mostly men. But what if I told you that sometimes even kids end up in some terrible altercations with policemen, and even end up attacking the cops because of their behavior? So for today, we will be showing you the crazy instances where dangerous kids attacked cops and what had happened to them. Just for the record, the names and the locations of these kids will not be disclosed due to the fact that they are still minors and should be protected no matter what they did. Also, we do not condone the abuse of any minors or children. These videos are just instances of misdemeanor caused to a cop on duty that were caught on a body cam. The first video starts with a kid who seems to be sleeping on the table in the middle of a busy library. It seems all too innocent and harmless, and that would definitely make you wonder why the cops were contacted over such a thing. But once you find out the reason why, you'll be shocked. This young boy has been instructed by both the library's security team and the cops to get up. But for some reason, he keeps ignoring their instructions and kept his head lowered on his arm. He seemed to be awake despite his position and decided to resist and ignore any instruction or action given to him by the cop. He keeps on resisting the efforts of the cops to get him out of the library and stands still. However, in the end, the policeman decided that enough is enough and arrested him on the spot, which has proven to be tougher said than done, as the boy kept resisting until two policemen tackled him to the ground in front of the shocked library attendees. He kept shaking his arms and moving them around until finally the cops grabbed a hold of them. But it took them 3 men to at least pin him to the ground and get him to submit. But the reason why he was arrested was one that could make you scratch your head. The person in question had a weapon on him, an airsoft gun. And although it may not sound like much to some, it could cause some serious trouble and injuries if fired. Once at the police car, the cops asked the kid why he tried to wrestle his way out of their grip, and he confessed that he was bothered by their intervention because he was asleep. He was suffering from sleep deprivation since he was living on the streets and wanted to rest a little, and that he had the airsoft gun on him for protection. The cops later realized that the kid might have had some problems at home, which prompted him to act just like he did. Our next pick is an even worse display of how unsupervised kids can be a critical danger to not only policemen, but to their siblings and family as well. The policeman enters the hallway of an apartment complex. He's going to go check the house at the apartment of the hallway after the mother contacted them about an incident where she alleges her son had threatened his sister and even held a weapon on her after he had been in an argument with his mother about going to school. The policeman gently talks to the teenager and asks him about the knife he had threatened his sibling with. The latter responds that he doesn't have it. The cop searches into his pockets for any other objects or weapons and asks the boy to clear out his hands from anything he's picking up, in this case, his phone. He soon finds a sharp object protruding through his pocket, and the cop voices concern that the boy may end up harming himself with it. The policeman asks the boy about his mother, and he responds that she's fine, but his sister isn't. He explains that she had been acting violent towards him after he was grounded by his teacher for laying Eight's head on the table due to having a headache. He alleges that the sister had pushed him and tried to drag him out of the house, so he retaliated by punching her. He continues saying that his own mother and his little brother and sister had assaulted him, but he tried to defend himself. Up until now, the young man seems innocent, but the policeman had no choice but to respond to the complaint of the mother and arrest him, and all hell broke loose when the boy started struggling. In such cases, even if the culprit was deemed innocent, the policeman would still arrest them until they take them for questioning, which would either result in them being released if proven innocent, bailed or freed if the victim withdraws their complaint, or jailed. The latter becoming more prevalent if the culprit acted during the arrest, which is what this boy has been doing, but don't worry, it gets worse. The mother soon joins in the cops, and her son starts crying out and shrieking at the cops to get off of him. He collapses on the floor, crying and screaming, while squirming away from the policeman's grip. The mom starts pleading with the policeman as he wrestles the boy to the ground, saying that he's still a kid. The mother asks her son, starts crying out and shrieking at the cops to get off of him. He collapses on the floor, crying and screaming, while squirming away from the policeman's grip. The mom starts pleading with the policeman as he wrestles the boy to the ground, saying that he's still a kid. The mother asks her son to cooperate, but he just stays on the ground, crying for the cops to let him go, while they try to reach for his arm to arrest him. The mother then sternly demands her kid to stop messing around and submit. But her words fall on deaf ears, and at one point she joins the cops in making her son submit, and just then they are finally able to cuff him. Since the boy kept on thrashing and screaming, the cops retaliated by twisting his arm, making his own mother feel concerned about her son's well-being. And at long last, the boy, named Adrian, was finally taken to the vehicle. His mother was also facing charges of obstructing justice and disorderly misconduct. On our third and last case, we have a very strange case of a group of teens attacking a cop over a minor inconvenience, which led to a big fight between the two parties. It all started on Halloween night, when a girl with a group of her friends was caught littering the streets as she threw a can of soda on the ground. The policeman demanded her to stop it or he'll have her arrested. She apologizes and then the four girls leave, but not before one of them takes a jab at the policeman and calls him a slur, provoking the cop. He tells the girl to come to his station, but they kept insulting the cop, and the girl who littered starts threatening the coop, that she will beat him up. He keeps following the group and explains that if any of them ever littered again, he will take them to jail, and just then he grabs one of the girls and shoves her away, before he demands the other girl to come to his station over the offense she committed. She keeps telling him to stay away and that she'll call her mother, which he agrees that she should do either way. But little did either of the groups know that this would end up escalating to an even worse degree. A third girl joins the two gals, and the teens get in the officer's face. He shoves one of them again for getting too close to him, and the very same girl he shoves keep getting in his way and threatening him, while her friend keeps getting between them to protect her friend. However, the other gal keeps getting on the policeman's nerves, so he ends up tackling her to the ground, and soon enough, backup arrives, and the rest of the group is arrested. The officer responsible for the arrest sustained minor injuries. But one of the girls had an even worse problem. She was suffering from an asthma attack and had to be hospitalized. But thankfully, she made it out unharmed after the incident. Hearing about the mistreatment of their kids, the parents of the four girls sued the police department due to the unnecessary altercation and damage, which, according to the cops, would have been avoided if the girls hadn't acted so violently and started insulting the policeman. That's about it for today's video. As a reminder, we do not condone harming any children or minors in any shape or form. This video is only for a few documented cases of juvenile delinquency being fought against by policemen. These cases serve as a reminder that sometimes you should think twice before wronging a cop, no matter your age or gender. If a cop demands you respect their authority, then that's the least you could do. And if not, then no matter who you were, the consequences might be dire. Don't forget to subscribe for more of our newest updates. And make sure you turn the notifications on. See you on a brand new video.